Hey everyone, Evan Shweky, your Swipe Left for Success host and CEO of Delarosa Lending Group. We are a hard money lender as well as investors in multifamily, fix and flips, and commercial real estate development. Swipe Left for Success looks at those moments and experiences that may not have been the conventional or sometimes even the smartest choices, but were the success game changers for our guests. We also delve into new ideas for enhancing your real estate business and investments for greater profits. This is part one of our two-part series devoted to dissecting the minds and habits of the brightest real estate investors. Their success stories didn't just magically happen, and most of the top 10% of real estate entrepreneurs, I'm going to refer to them as the elite 10. Most of them were not born into family wealth, but here are some more surprises. Did having a college education increase the chances for success? Nope. Did the elite 10 begin their quest for more startup capital than the rest of us? Nope. It's a given that having any combination of a solid education, experience in real estate, or tons of cash will give anyone a head start. But those factors have no relevance in keeping them at the top. So what is it that separates the superior investor from their competitors? What are the common traits they all share? Today I'm going to give you 5 action steps utilized by these savvy investors, keeping them at the top of their game. The first person I'd like to introduce to you is Jason. A few years ago we received an application for a fix and flip loan. This person had no experience, which is generally something most hard money lenders will shy away from. However, what he did have was a thoughtful, detailed step-by-step plan explaining how he would achieve his near-term goal of completing his first flip. Strategies for dealing with unexpected contingencies if events didn't go as planned, as they often do, and some addendums noting his passion for real estate. He talked about how his mother was a single mom and the pride she had when she bought her first house for her family, and how he wanted to be part of creating that same sense of pride and ownership for other young families. With that in mind, he was focused on homes that would be priced as starter homes in neighborhoods with decent schools and access to public transportation. Notwithstanding Jason's lack of experience, the significant time and effort he expended coming up with a viable game plan, not only detailing the renovations, but explaining why this home in this neighborhood would sell, swayed us enough to take a chance on him. Today, Jason is a regular borrower who flips close to 30 homes annually. 2 years ago, he bought his mom a beautiful new house for her birthday. So, the first action step I'm going to give you is creating a business plan. Just like Jason, you need a document that clarifies your vision and details the steps necessary to build and manage your business. Jason broke down each aspect of the project in his plan, from identifying the property, listing team members he was going to use for the renovations, along with detailed financials showing every expense. A well-thought-out plan will keep the real estate investor organized and on task and provide potential investors a vivid picture of how the business will grow and achieve its objectives. The Elite 10 are continuously updating their business plan to reflect any changes to their business model, like a pandemic that completely shuts down the economy, making it difficult finding materials or obtaining permits in a timely manner. Without a business plan, you can lose sight of the direction you should be headed and render you unprepared to deal with inevitable obstacles. Studies have shown that less than 10% of people achieve their New Year's resolutions because they fail to define a detailed short-term and long-term plan in achieving those resolutions. Look for our upcoming video laying out a simple 5-step approach to creating an Elite 10 worthy business plan. Action step number 2, know your market and the economy. Another borrower bought a property in a great town. The problem with the property was that it bordered on an area of an adjacent city that had a high crime rate. The borrower thought that just because the property was technically located in the better town, he'd be able to get a premium for the property. Unfortunately, he was wrong and took a loss on the property because potential buyers assumed there would be a similar crime rate to that in the adjacent city. and the taxes were much higher in the town as well. The Elite 10 all learn as much as they can about the local economic conditions in and around the area their potential investments are going to be located. Successful property investors always look for locations with reasonable supply and high demand. The Elite 10 also research the economic factors and monthly trends affecting real estate on a national level. Changes in consumer spending habits, mortgage rates, the unemployment rate, and monthly home sales are just a sample of the type of relevant data to look for in assessing current market conditions. This monthly data is important in predicting changing trends and identifying potential opportunities that others won't even be aware of. Number 3, know your numbers. Going back to our friend Jason, knowing the basic numbers for your deal is by far the most important skill required to succeed in any business. Real estate math is quite simple. The problem arises when the investor has bad information as a result of their failure to do the required due diligence. One inaccurate cost estimate or forgotten expense is all it takes to have a property that looked like a steal turn into a money loser. Doing your homework and accounting for all of the costs and after repair value with some semblance of accuracy will be your guide in determining whether to move forward or walk away from a particular deal. The smart investor takes a conservative approach when calculating expenses and market values and maintains a cash reserve for unexpected surprises. And you can be sure there will likely be some surprises along the way. Never buy a property where the margins are too tight. If the math looks bad, it's likely a bad deal. An old girlfriend who broke up with me remarked how men are like tissues. You take one, use it, and look, there's another one right there waiting. And there will be another property, and one with better math. The fourth action step, common to any of the Elite 10, is using leverage intelligently to grow their business. No one of average means can build wealth without utilizing other people's money, whether it be a family member, friend, or commercial lender. This is one of the keys to building wealth relatively quickly. In the next few months, we will be crafting some videos discussing some of the clever leveraging strategies adopted by the pros to stretch profits. Using leverage is a privilege. It means someone believes in you and is willing to risk their capital on your project. If you borrowed too much relative to the value of your investment, then you would be deemed to be over-leveraged, and that can be a major strategic blunder. You see, leverage works in two ways. It will magnify your gains, but it'll also amplify your losses if your investment turns into a money loser. Aggressive investors who are either greedy, impatient, or simply made the wrong bet can have one highly leveraged bad investment offset all of the smaller wins they had accumulated over a period of time. We know of a young investor who had built a portfolio of 14 rental units before the age of 27. This borrower told me that he was going to have a portfolio of 100 units before the age of 30. He leveraged his outstanding equity in those 14 units to add another 30 units to the portfolio. Within 2 years, that investor filed for bankruptcy, lost all of the rentals to foreclosure, will no longer be able to obtain a loan to rebuild, and is struggling to find work. Had the investor not been so reckless with the use of leverage, this story would have had a very different ending. You will be looking for trouble if your leverage ratio exceeds 70% of the loan to value. Action step number 5 is to find yourself a mentor. Most of the Elite 10 will tell you that having a mentor who was their sounding board and provided advice as they worked through strategies and the normal growing pains associated with a new business was an invaluable asset. Looking over your numbers for a project, providing assistance in finding financing, or making introductions are just some of the bonuses in having a mentor. If you're going to have an effective mentor-mentee relationship, you must leave your ego at the door and actively listen to the mentor's words of wisdom. You have to be okay being vulnerable if you want effective feedback. All of us have unlimited potential. Most of us don't achieve nearly as much as we can. If there's no straight talk between mentor and mentee, the young entrepreneur will never truly understand what's preventing them from reaching their peak. You now have 5 action steps that you can begin integrating into your strategy for success today. Start outlining that business plan. If you're unsure how to start, look out for our upcoming video. Begin researching local and national data on your area of real estate and the economy. Create a spreadsheet containing expenses associated with your projects and general overhead. And have an accountant or someone with real estate investment experience look it over to see if you missed anything and if your numbers are realistic. Find real estate events where you can meet experts that might become mentors and lenders that you can tap for loans. The great thing about our new online world is that you're not relegated to local events. You can meet potential mentors and lenders across the country and connect via email to begin building a relationship. If you can do these 5 things, you'll be headed in the right direction, and your dreams of today can easily become the reality of tomorrow. Stay tuned for part 2 of our Action Steps series for real estate success, when we discuss 5 additional action steps entrepreneurs must adopt in order to reach their peak potential. I'd love to know what action steps you found to be important in building your business. Is there an effective action step you've thought about employing that maybe a colleague or a competitor is using effectively? Tell us about it so that we can share it with our audience. After all, we want to learn from each other. Thanks for tuning in. If you really like the show, please share this video with your friends and subscribe to our YouTube channel at Swipe Left for Success. Stay tuned for new weekly episodes offering real estate investors and entrepreneurs practical advice and ideas to help you grow your business and achieve the success you envision. Let us know about any topics you'd like us to explore in the comments section below. We're listening, and we'll see you at the top.